Cinderella, hello kids! Welcome to Léa Planet, your channel for magical bedtime stories and learning. Today we are going to listen to the full story of Cinderella. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's begin this magical tale. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a kind and beautiful young girl named Cinderella. She lived with her stepmother and her two stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella. Sadly, Cinderella's father had passed away, and her stepmother was very cruel to her. While her stepsisters wore beautiful dresses and jewelry, Cinderella had to wear old clothes and do all the chores in the house. She cleaned the floors, cooked all the meals, washed the clothes, and even fed the animals every day. But Cinderella was kind and always stayed positive, even when life was hard. One day, a royal announcement was made across the kingdom. "Hear the," the messenger shouted. "The king invites all the young ladies to the royal ball. The prince will choose his bride tonight." All the girls in the kingdom were excited. Cinderella, too, dreamed of going to the ball and dancing in the grand palace. Her stepsisters prepared fancy dresses and spent hours getting ready. They laughed at Cinderella when she asked if she could go too. "You? Go to the ball," they said, laughing. "You have no dress, no shoes, and you are much too busy with your chores." Cinderella was heartbroken. After her stepsisters left for the ball, she sat alone in the garden and began to cry. Suddenly, a warm light appeared in front of her. It was her fairy godmother. "Don't cry, my dear," said the fairy godmother softly. "You shall go to the ball." With a wave of her magic wand, she turned a pumpkin into a beautiful golden carriage. She transformed 4 little mice into strong white horses. She turned a lizard into a coachman and Cinderella's old dress into a sparkling gown made of silver and blue, with shining glass slippers on her feet. "Now you are ready, Cinderella," said the fairy godmother. "But remember, the magic will end at midnight. You must leave the ball before the clock strikes 12. Cinderella promised and entered the carriage, full of joy and hope. When Cinderella arrived at the palace, everyone stopped and stared at her beauty. The prince himself couldn't take his eyes off her. "May I have this dance?" he asked. They danced together all night. The prince was so happy, and Cinderella felt like she was in a dream. Her stepsisters and stepmother didn't recognize her at all, but time passed quickly. Suddenly, the clock began to strike midnight. "Dong! 1 dong!" 2 Cinderella remembered the fairy godmother's warning. She quickly ran away from the palace, but in her rush, she lost one of her glass slippers on the grand staircase. The prince picked it up and held it close. "I will find the girl who fits this slipper," he declared. The next morning, the prince sent his royal guards across the entire kingdom to search for the mysterious girl. Many young women tried to fit their feet into the glass slipper, but none of them succeeded. At last, the guards arrived at Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried to force their feet into the small slipper, but it was no use. Then Cinderella stepped forward. "May I try?" she asked kindly. The slipper fit her perfectly. At that moment, the fairy godmother appeared once more and transformed Cinderella into the beautiful princess from the ball. The prince recognized her immediately and smiled. "Will you marry me, Cinderella?" he asked. "Yes, my prince," she answered happily. And so Cinderella and the prince were married in a grand celebration. They lived happily ever after, full of love, kindness, and joy. Moral of the story: kindness, patience, and hope will always lead to happiness. Even in hard times, never stop believing in your dreams. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Léa Planet, and click the bell so you never miss our next bedtime stories. See you soon, kids. Good night.